Hello everyone. My name is Kevin Kinnaird, and this is video for Global Learning Project TE150 Vlog 1. A little bit about myself is that I am a senior at MSU studying criminal justice, and I'm from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Um, the person that I chose to do this project with is Jay Garlapati. He is a senior as well at MSU studying pre-medicine, and is currently applying to go to med school. Jay was born in India, but he did not come to America until he was in late elementary school. Um, the hardest part about him coming to America was that he didn't speak the English language all that well. He said it was near impossible to go out of his comfort zone and talk to people because he couldn't really speak to them. So it's I can imagine going up to somebody and trying to become friends with them, but you can't communicate because there is like no give and take. Like he has to try a lot harder than the other person does. So how he ended up breaking out of his comfort zone was he had to join he wanted to join a lot of clubs and a lot of sports. Um, just by pure exposure and stuff like that. Like, oh, I'm gonna be hanging out with this guy a lot. I'm gonna be on his team. I gotta get to know him and stuff like that. So people were reaching out to him, trying to make him feel at place and him feel welcome to the team. So that's how we got around making friends and stuff like that. That didn't happen until middle school. So he was in America for 2 years before he ended up feeling at home and feeling right in America. Um, what we did for interaction one was I went over to his apartment. We talked about literally everything: school, religion, food, friends, etc. He ended up making some authentic Indian food. It was a spicy Indian curry with rice, I believe it was, with chicken instead of with chicken in it. Um, the food was very good, and the biggest difference for him from coming from America or coming from India to America was the consumption of beef and red meat in America. He is a Hindu, so that means you're not allowed to eat red meat, which is beef and pork, and I think a couple other things, but I'm not quite sure. Those are the big two. So most Hindus value beef as something sacred, and you can't just lustfully eat it whenever you want to. Um, so when he came to America, just seeing it being eaten all the time, it was hard for him to wrap his head all around it, and it was hard for him to see his family back at home not eat it whatsoever, and his family here just being exposed to it and other people eating it, and it was taboo in India, but it's just a social norm here. Everybody does it. When he was younger, he said the hardest part was when people would all eat together and he didn't have any food, and people would get pepperoni pizza. He couldn't eat any of the pizza because the pepperonis were on it, and then he couldn't just pick off the pepperoni because it would still have some of the pepperoni grease on top of the cheese or something like that. So he would have to get he felt a little secluded just because he doesn't eat meat, but that was just something he ended up realizing that's other people do that too. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you have other diet restrictions and stuff like that, but he does it for his religion. Other than food, that we also talked about education and learning, and I got to know that Jay is one of the most very motivated individuals that we have here at MSU. Something funny that he told me was that it is easier for him to get perfect grades in college than it was for him in high school, because in high school you needed a 98 or a 99 or 100% to get that perfect grade, but in college he got that to get that perfect grade you need a 92 or 93%, if that makes any sense. There's more leeway in college to there's more spots to get a perfect grade in college than there was in high school, which I thought was funny because I think college is harder than high school, and then also like like it shows me like his characteristics. Like he's not just trying to get a good grade; he's trying to get a perfect grade because he knows what he wants to be, and he will not stop until he actually gets that grade. Um, he actually studies like every single night for 2 3 hours. He just really wants to become a doctor. Since we started talking about that, we were talking about our parents' view on education. And my parents obviously value education. That's why I'm here in school right now. It just opens up many more opportunities in the future. So you can do more things that you want to do post graduation and not just be limited to like one or two jobs. Like it can open up many, many, many opportunities for the future. Jay's parents were the same way. More specifically, they prioritized it as number one. Like it was the most important thing that they had to do. That's where he got all the good study habits, and that's why he's like such a perfection because he wants to get those good grades. uh, since both of his parents are doctors, him and his two siblings who are also on track to become medical students. They all feel like they can all become doctors just because their parents were doctors. Which is something that is like something that is like highly motivational, and then they all have like that dream of becoming like a doctor, and they will not stop until they become that doctor, which is pretty pretty cool to hear him say that he is not going to stop doing what needs to be done until he gets what his dream is. Some other things that we talked about were balancing school and social life. Jay is content with a limited sleep schedule because he has a job, he goes to classes, he's taken a really hard class, a Lyman Briggs student, uh, as well as we talked about religion as well because I consider myself very religious. Like back in high school, I used to be an altar server for all 4 years of high school. He considers himself religious as well, but it's a little bit more difficult because of how many Hindu temples there are in America. There's not that many, obviously, because there's not that many people who practice that religion. But he considers him very religious because he still holds true to all the values, and he still like thinks about that stuff every single day, which I respect him. I do too. It's something that defines both of us. Um, Jay was like a wonderful person to hang out with him, and I'm glad that I met him. We have a couple things planned for vlog 2 pertaining to our religion. Either going to a Hindu temple or going to a Catholic mass. Please stay tuned for my next video. This is Kevin Kinnaird, vlog 1, TE 150, Global Learning Project. Bye.